Hello guys and gals, how's it going? Today we are reviewing Kirby Triple Deluxe for the Nintendo 3DS Home Entertainment Handheld System. Can you imagine if they actually called it that? So, if you've been subbing to me, subbed for a while to me now, you know that I am a huge Kirby fan. This is probably my favorite gaming franchise of all time. And I even did a 20th anniversary video, and you should totally go check it out. And it's totally not a shameless plug because it's on my channel. Any case, so let's discuss this game. This was shown at a Nintendo Direct, I believe, a year or so ago, and when I saw it, my jaw hit the floor because it was like a classic side-scrolling Kirby-style game, back on the handhelds again, the old-school stuff, no real gimmicks. Well, there kind of is one, we'll get into that. And I didn't really know what the hell the story was about. I don't even think anybody really knew. You know, once the plot finally came out, I was kind of like, oh my god, it sounds great. Basically, the general plot of Triple Deluxe is that someone kidnaps King Dedede from his castle, or if you will, his palace, whatever, and they take him off into the heavens, and Kirby has to go after him. And the whole thing is you're going up a gigantic beanstalk to different worlds, and fighting all these different bosses, and going through the stages to, you know, the typical Kirby fare to save King Dedede. It's actually a pretty cool storyline. Now, in this game, there's about, I want to say, there's got to be at least over 20 power-ups. I want to say around 25 or so. There could be more, there could be less, but it's over 20. So there's a lot of power-ups. It's a lot of the ones you love, like the sword, the cutter, the electric spark, the spikes, the parasol, all that stuff, or the umbrella, I guess it's considered. All those. But what's really great is, like, the last number of years of Kirby games, they've really evolved the way that he does power-ups. Rather than just throw a move, there's iterations of it. So, you'll do, like, an up version, like an air move. You'll do a down one. You'll do a charge one. You'll do one where you run and dash. You do one where you run and dash in the air. Every one of them has different things, and you could read the controls. What's really great about this game is there's a dodge button, there's a roll button, a block button, air dodge. So it's basically like, dare I say, this game is preparing us for the Smash Brothers games that are coming out. And we'll get into that a little bit, because there's a little more to that. And so you could basically, there's a whole nother strategy to how you fight enemies besides just like pew pew dead, like that kind of thing. It's really cool, especially effective with the boss battles. And this game also introduces 4 new power-ups. The Beetle power-up, the Circus one, the Bell one, and if I'm not mistaken, it's like a crown or something that's almost like the microphone, except it just explodes everything, more like a crash kind of thing. I don't know. It was a little confusing as to what the hell it was. But in any case, I believe that's a new power-up as well. And I would say out of the 4 new power-ups, my favorite one is the Beetle one. And I knew it was going to be my favorite, but it's really strong. You could, like, lift things up. You could lift the stars that bosses drop and throw them, and you could fly around. The Circus one is actually surprisingly really, really wacky and cool, too. I hope they bring all these power-ups back. I think they're really neat. That one, you throw, like, bowling pins that go on fire. You jump through loops. You make balloon animals and stuff, and sometimes characters pop up, like Meta Knight in a balloon form, and it explodes. It's really, really cool. Every world is different, naturally, like Kirby games. There's, like, the typical foresty-looking one. There's the fantasy clouds in the sky one. There's a lava one, which is particularly the hardest, in my opinion, the hardest stage in the game. I believe it's World 5. And that sort of thing. And then the other thing that's cool is there is some cutscenes in the game. They don't really take advantage of the 3D. However, the game itself does, because the game itself constantly wants you to say, hey, look, you see this little plane that you're on? Well, there's another part of it right in the back, and you take warp stars and different little things, and there's a lot of chase sequences in this game, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. It does get a little annoying after a while, because you kind of just want to enjoy seeing the layouts that they've created. However, I will say for some stages, like later ones, where these pillar things come out that glow and they beep and you gotta move fast, they're intense and they're a lot of fun. They're really cool. But again, stages like 5, that one drove me nuts because there was just so much, like, fireball spam and so much crap like that. And yes, some of the forms you can destroy the fireballs, but this is one of my few complaints. I was trying to 100% the story and collect all these things called sunstones. Now, if you collect enough of them, you open up a boss door. If you collect them all, you open up a an EX stage, which is like, I guess, an extreme version. The extreme versions don't really get that challenging, in my opinion, until around World 4 or so, World 5 or so. That's when things start to get noticeably more hardcore. So all the people over all the years saying, oh, Kirby isn't hardcore, or Kirby isn't hard, and, you know, all this nonsense. Okay, wait until you get to, like, the last 2 EX stages and let me know what you really think. Because if we were judging it on a scale to another game, I would say it's pretty tricky. So, yeah. Any case, where was I going with this? Oh, yeah, so the Sunstones, I tried to 100% the game. I did do it. It was a pain in the ass, though, because this is my only complaint. The physics in which you... Okay, when you pick up an ability and you get hit, Kirby goes down, he drops his thing, the natural thing is to go pick it up again, right? Well, say you're in, like, World 5, which is full of lava. If the power-up hits the lava destroys it in one hit. You don't even get the chance to get out of your KO animation to pick it up. So that stage in particular, that world, was very annoying to do because you constantly have to go back and forth between areas and pick up power-ups, and it was just I know it's like something that's so minor and so stupid, but since I'm reviewing the game, I may as well just bring it up and say it kind of bothered me a little bit. I don't know how everybody else feels. Yeah, and then the other thing is at the end of, during the stages, there's these keychains you collect. There's over 200 keychains of all kinds of pixelated versions of Kirby and his friends and enemies from every game imaginable. It's awesome. You could also street pass and exchange them, but if you're really good, you can find all the hidden ones and get more. And then at the end of every stage, like the old school Kirby games, there is a cannon that launches you, and the further you go out, the more rewards you get, like health items and stuff like that. And also, there is a little health slot at the bottom where you can get a power-up from the bandana Waddle Dee and get the power-up, and you can use it for later if you want. So there's a lot of, like, extra little things going on. It's a lot of fun. Now, I remember it was this thing before, I was talking about the whole, you could dodge and do rolls and all these very Smash-like things. Well, there is an extra mini game on here where you can pick any power-up you want and fight other Kirbys with power-ups using these very Smash-like layouts. I did it on the hardest difficulty and it kicked the crap out of me, but it was cool, it was fun. I want to try it some more. Admittedly, I just wanted to focus more on the story. And then there's a King Dedede drum rhythm game. Now, if you know, King Dedede's like my favorite dude ever, so... for me, I was like, oh man, this is really cool. And it's tough. Like, you gotta nail it. King Dedede essentially floats across these drums, and you gotta collect coins and get higher and higher and bounce. It's quite tough to get really good at it, but once you master it, it's a lot of fun. And once you beat the game, you unlock more stuff like a boss rush mode, and my personal favorite, which is a playable King Dedede mode where you go through the entire game. However, the twist is that it's a time attack. Normally, I hate time attacks, but the fact that it's got a gimmick like that attached to it is amazing enough because you can just do all kinds of different stuff with a hammer and whack things, and it's a lot of fun. And then you can put it online and compare your scores. I haven't gotten far enough in it yet, but it's definitely something I'm going to go back to and play because it's a friggin' playable King Dedede. And I don't really know which more I could say. The bad guys in this game are really cool. The boss battles are a lot of fun. The use of 3D is in the stages, not the cutscenes. It's really, really well done and crazy. The final boss is freaking badass. I actually hope they bring that character back. I'm not going to say what it is. And everything else is just really fleshed out. It's a really well-made Kirby game. I don't really have that many complaints about it. It's a lot of fun, except for that one weird power-up thing. I'm sorry, it's nitpicking. And, and for all you Meta Knight people out there, you might be surprised. That's all I'm going to say. Because it really isn't any Meta Knight. This is very much a Kirby King Dedede game, which is interesting to me. I don't know, there's a lot of nods to, like, the old games, too. I forgot to mention that. But anyways, awesome game. Check it out. Yeah, go play it, and if you got a 3DS and you're like, I'm not sure about that game, well, I mean, come on, guys, it's Kirby. Anyways, peace out!